Hello, hello. Welcome to episode number 5 of my YouTube channel. And I am so excited because I have been reading a book and I just finished it, and it goes so much hand in hand in what's going on in my world right now in terms of future self, AI images, etc. So if you have not read Be Your Future Self Now by Dr. Benjamin Hardy, I highly, highly recommend it. And so we're going to talk a little bit about the book, about different things within the book. And then I'm going to put a challenge to yourself because I am also taking on this challenge and I'm super excited about it. So Dr. Benjamin Hardy, he basically explores the power of connecting deeply with your future self to guide your present actions and decisions to your future actions and decisions. And when I think about why I do the AI images and the vision board, this is exactly why. I ask myself on a daily, what does my 85-year-old self want? What does my 1 year from now self want? What does my 5 year from now self want? And am I doing those things today, showing up as that person? And so really Hardy argues that the key to rapid and personal growth and activating and achieving your dreams lies in the living today, in the mindset, habits, and actions of your ideal future self. So by building a vivid and compelling vision, right? Vision boards, AI images in those vision boards of who you want to become, you're actually shaping your behaviors in the present, overcoming any of the obstacles and accelerating towards your desired future. And I love the concept of this because really, when it comes down to why I'm so passionate about the AI images vision boards, is because that's exactly what we're doing. We're bringing ourselves to our future self's present day. And the book basically provides a roadmap to bridging the gap between who you are now and who you want to become. And that is such a powerful thing because a lot of people struggle with how do I become my future self? And so it emphasizes that every decision that we make right now should align with our future self's goals and values. And by adopting that kind of future-based mindset, right, really setting ourselves up, our environment and our decision-making to support the growth that we want to make into intentional choices and build the discipline that's going to help us with those choices. So he talks about the power of the future self, okay, making decisions based on our future self, overcoming the gap between the current and future self, our commitment to our future self, and then redefining your environment to support your future self. Okay. And then transforming your identity and then using your future self filter every single day. And then what are our daily habits and what are our non-negotiables as our future self? Really looking at the be, do, have thinking, and then understanding that we develop a long-term vision and plan. So these are kind of his concepts throughout the book. And I'm just going to touch base on them. And as I said, at the end of this video, I'm going to give you a challenge that I am also going to give myself. And it really is going to be something that's so powerful for your future self. So remember, we want to create a clear vision, right? We want to spend some time really imagining what our future self wants to be in 5, 10, 20 years. Now, because the AI images brings that visualization to life for me, somebody who isn't able to really fully visualize, I have been really helpful for myself to see what it is I look like, what I'm doing in my future. And that has been a really big piece of it. So our future self meditation. So I've been partnered with a really amazing gentleman from England who actually lives in Vietnam right now, doing a personalized meditation, bringing in those AI images together. And we really are focused on daily meditation where we can visualize our future self because we see that image looking back at us. So not only, when I used to tell somebody would say to me, picture how they think, how they act, how they make decisions. I couldn't quite get it. Now with my AI images, I can. And then daily journaling, which I love so much. But what I have been doing more recently is called my mini manifestations. I have it on my vision board and my images are on my screensaver. So if I'm doing something and all of a sudden my screensaver pops up, I have a moment. I take a look at that image. I take a look at what it is. And then I have that mini manifestation moment. So instead of necessarily daily journaling, that's what I've been doing really, really well with my AI images. So let's talk about how we make decisions based on our future self. Okay. In the present, we are doing things every single day. We're making choices every single day, and we're either doing them for comfort and immediate gratification. That's the now, or long-term success in our future self, which is bridging that gap. And so you should always ask yourself, what would my future self do before making any significant decisions? And am I acting as my future self right now? Right. So what happens is when we're faced with a choice, sometimes we go for that quick, easy, right? It's very easy to sit on your sofa and watch Netflix. Or does my 85-year-old self want me to get up and move so that I can be healthy and independent and mobile for the, for as long as I possibly can? So those are what we're asking ourselves. So reverse engineer your goals. So we identify our major life goals with our future self's perspective and then break them down into monthly and weekly milestones. Okay, this is something that you can do individually with a coach. You can figure out what it is, but we all need to work with it. Because remember, AI images, vision boards, future self, it is not magic. We still have work we have to do. So when faced with a significant choice, asking yourself, what would my future self decide? Right? That question is going to guide your decisions on investments, on learning opportunities, on relationship building, on business decisions, right? And then definitely set a stretch goal, an ambitious goal that will align your future self with today, that feels very out of reach, but it helps us grow beyond and beyond our current limitations. So, how do we bridge that gap between today's current self and our future self? So, one of the book's very key ideas is embracing discomfort between who you are now and who you wish to become. That gap is not only to be avoided, but to actually lean into, acknowledging that growth requires stepping out of our comfort zone and really begin taking action to stretch those abilities and drive progress towards your future self. So, an action step in this one is identify one action you've been avoiding because it feels uncomfortable and challenging. I was on my coaching call today, and one of the things we talked about within this concept is what's something that you do on a regular basis that you know is a comfort thing, right? Maybe it's logging into Facebook, maybe it's checking your emails, but is that really going to help your future self? And if the answer is no, what is it that's going to? So we need to embrace that discomfort, right? Commit to stepping out of our comfort zone regularly. Yes, it's uncomfortable. Yes, it's not fun, but honestly, it really does stretch your capabilities. Maybe it's public speaking, maybe it's asking for the sale, maybe it's asking a referral partner for somebody to, help you with your business, but networking and helping. But those things are going to really help support your future self. And then track small wins. This is really important. Oftentimes people think future self, always bigger, always bigger. No, we need to look at our daily accomplishments, our weekly accomplishments. Every time we move closer to your future self, we want to celebrate. I had a really big win this past week. I did a workshop. Not only was I partnered with my business coach and mentor, Suzanne, it was amazing, but also my AI mentor, who has a Facebook group of only like 360,000 people registered for this workshop. I was nervous. I was excited, but it was a very big deal for me to step into my future self who can deliver so much value that both my AI mentor and my business coach and mentor thought that it was a good idea to come. And that is huge. Was it scary? Hell yeah. But it was amazing moving through and working with that discomfort. And then we want to definitely measure our progress, right? Regularly reviewing our actions and our decisions to ensure that they really do align with that future self, and then adjust the strategy as needed. So commit to your future self. Achieving your future self requires that commitment. Okay. It's not half-hearted attempts. This means investing our time, our energy, and our resources into developing the skills, the habits, and experiences your future self really embodies, right? So an action step, write down a commitment to develop a specific skill or habit that aligns with that future self. So my future self is running her business outside of the norm, right? I am challenging people to say, let's do it this way. That means every single day I have to do something outside of the norm and challenge it, right? And so maybe we need to invest in some skills. That's okay. Maybe we need to work on some of our habits. That's okay. Implementing these things is really going to help us become our future self. Redefine the environment that supports our future self. This is really, really big because everything in our environment impacts our behavior, right? So Dr. Hardy suggests that if we look at our environment that supports our future goals, right? This includes surrounding yourself with people who inspire you. This is optimizing maybe your workspace and not having so much clutter. This means getting around the people that make you feel, like you are good enough or strong enough or whatever those goals are. And it's like that natural structure that's going going to nudge you to become your future self. Right. So take a quick look at your current environment. Take a quick look at the 5 friends that you hang out with the most. Identify distractions, any negative influences, and replace them if possible. Sometimes it's not, but if possible, replace them. And that's going to help support your growth. And whether it's books, podcasts, inspiring visuals, maybe you are looking at different workshops to attend. This is why I love the AI vision board, because I have it in my space all the time on my computer, on my phone. And it really does redefine my environment, because I do my mini manifestation moments. I have moments where I just get to sit and think about it. I have my meditation. It really does help. So once you have looked around, do you need to upgrade your peer group, right? Those 5 friends, you know what they say about them. So make sure that you're surrounding yourself with people who inspire you and challenge you. Seek mentors, seek communications with people who really do bring you up a level versus pull you down. And then optimize that space and really take a look at the exposure around you. I don't know about you, but there is nothing worse than having negativity in my life, right? I cannot handle it. So I definitely focus on keeping that out. I live in a little bubble sometimes. Sometimes that means I don't know everything that's going on in the world, but I feel so much better when I have limited exposure to that kind of people, information, news, etc. So transforming your identity is really important to become that future self, right? You have to be your future self. The concept is rooted in the idea that your behavior follows your identity. When you see yourself as your future self, you naturally act that way, which is why the AI vision boards work so well. Because if I'm standing on stage of a TEDx speaking table, if I'm reading my book that I've already published, if I'm traveling like a digital nomad who can go anywhere and everywhere, location freedom, right? That new narrative that I tell myself every time I see my images, that's really going to create the identity of my future self. Right? We want our behaviors of that future self, right? Maybe it's waking up early, maybe it's prioritizing your health, to be incorporated into your daily routine. And then we want to experience new roles. So maybe there's activities or things that you haven't been doing that you know that your now self would really want your future self to be doing. So let's start living that now. Right? So understanding that we have a future self filter that we bring through every single day of our practice. So evaluating every action through the lens of that future self by filtering your decisions, your habits, and your interactions based on that future self. What would they do? You're going to be in a situation where you're constantly moving in the right direction. And then I want you to really think about what your intentions are each day, what that filter goes through each day, and then maybe what your evening reflection, what did I do well? What didn't I do well? And remember, as we go through all of these things, you are creating this non-negotiable for your future self, right? So setting boundaries, we're practicing saying no, we're eliminating all those non-alignments of our activities. We have this be, do, have thinking. Okay. The model suggests that you achieve your desire by becoming the person who naturally does the things to lead to having those outcomes. And by focusing on being first, being that future self, you align your mindset and action with the results that you want to achieve. This approach shifts your thinking. Instead of, I need to have something to become successful, to, I need to become successful to have those things. And this really does define your be, define your do, and you're focusing on that being first instead of focusing on what we have to do or shifting that mindset. So let me just really quickly tell you here about one of the things I want to do. And the challenge from this book is to write yourself a letter, do a video, a future self, and act like you are already that person. In the book, he talks a lot about Mr. Beast, which of course is, if you don't know anything about anybody, you know who Mr. Beast is. He's got billions and billions of followers. He created a video when he was 17. He actually created, I think, 5 of them or 4 of them for his 1-year self, his 6-month self, 1-year self, and then his 5-year self. And in 2020, his 5-year self video was released onto his YouTube channel. And I think he said something like, as his 17-year-old self, I want, I really hope that we have, over 1 million followers. Meanwhile, he has something like 10 million. And so I challenge you, because I'm going to do this myself, is create a future self letter or video. And if you do a video, you can always have it, scheduled to come out a year from now, 6 months from now, whatever, but act like that person is today. That is your future self. So for me, I'm going to take a look at my vision board with all my AI images. I'm going to do a 6-month one, and I'm going to do a 1-year one, and I'm going to do a 5-year one. And I'm going to do them very quick. They don't have to be long, but you talk like you're already there. So if it was, if you're watching this real time, April 1st, 2026, Lindsay sitting here in her home office. I will be in Spain. I will be with my daughters, helping one start the process to go to university, helping the other figure out what she wants to do with her life. I am talking like it's happening right now. What does your relationships look like? What does your business look like? What does your financials look like? What are those things that are really important to you? What do they look like? And talk about them right now. So if you are bold enough, if you are brave enough, if you are going to go into that discomfort that we talked about, I challenge you to write yourself a letter, give yourself a quick video. It's like a time capsule, right? You're gonna either let the video go live on my YouTube channel, which is what I'm going to do. You're going to put a letter and put it in a sealed envelope and open it in 6 months time, 1 year time, 10 years time, whatever. Because I want you to keep in mind that if you are looking for becoming your future self now, you have to live and breathe it, right? That's what we just talked about. All of those different steps. That's what the book is all about. You have to live and breathe it now. So not only are you going to do that, but you're also going to put it out there because your letter or your video to your future self is going to be released. And we want to live that. We want to become that right now. All right, guys. I hopefully once you go through those, if you need to, I highly, highly recommend the book so that you can take a read of it. Okay, it is called Your Future Self Now by Dr. Benjamin Hardy. Okay, you can buy it on Amazon. I listen to it on audio. There's some really incredible stories in there. I highly, highly recommend taking a listen or taking a read of them, because once you've visualized and defined your future self, you make decisions based on your future self. You embrace that gap, you fully commit, you redesign your environment, you act like your future self in mind every single day, you prioritize your core habits, and you make your future self non-negotiable by adopting that be, do, have thinking. You are going to become that future self today. And I encourage every single one of you guys to do that. Anyways, have yourself a fantastic one, and I'll see you in the next video.